After confessing to preparing a terror attack on the police and military, a teenager from Essex was given a minimum term of 6 years in jail. Matthew King, 19, of Wickford, was deemed a threat to the public by Judge Mark Lucraft KC. King was given a life sentence by Judge Lucraft, who ruled that he must spend at least 6 years before being considered for parole. During today's sentencing remarks, the judge commended King's mother for informing the police about her own son after growing concerned about his attitude. The Metropolitan Police detained King on May 18, 2017, and he was charged with planning terrorist attacks. He had expressed to a virtual girlfriend his desire to torture and murder an American or British soldier, and he had also shared a photo of a police officer with the phrase, "Target acquired." He had been looking into potential victims and had previously expressed a desire to carry out a mass casualty attack on the populace. When King was apprehended, investigators think he had already chosen his victim and was getting ready to launch an assault. Despite statements by his attorney that the defendant was on the road to de-radicalization, Judge Lucraft assessed King to be a dangerous offender who posed a risk to the public in the future. King dabbled with drugs in his early teens, was expelled from school for acting out, and eventually dropped out of school at the age of 16. The court heard this information. Around 2020, he developed an interest in Islam, started going to mosques, and started watching Muslim YouTube videos. By May 2021, his family had seen that he had grown more extreme, and according to Mr. Jarvis, his mother was worried that he was viewing internet content that encouraged hatred. Calls from the public informing the anti-terrorist hotline and local police that King was becoming increasingly extreme and unstable in 2022 served as a warning to authorities. King's mother also informed the Prevent Anti-Terrorism Initiative about him. She took the very courageous step of contacting Prevent when she had concerns for her son. Judge Lucraft lauded King's mother, saying, "She did what, in my opinion, was completely the correct thing, even if it couldn't have been an easy thing to do in the first place." According to authorities, King uploaded a video on a WhatsApp group between April 14 and April 18, prompting the calls to the police. The words, "Those who said that there is no jihad and no battle," were displayed on the screen with a still image of a man wielding a knife in the video that was distributed on April 13. "They're telling the truth. Until the day of judgment, we shall continue our fight. The struggle has now started. So, young man, get your sword, and cut down the kufa." When they apprehended King 4 weeks later, Commander Dominic Murphy, Chief of Scotland Yard's Counter-Terrorism Command, stated that he thought an assault was imminent. King, according to Mr. Murphy, had radicalized himself in his room using the internet, and was a committed, self-initiated terrorist. King advocated for the murder of British soldiers and non-Muslims. According to a written statement from the defense, King actively desired to travel to Syria's ISIS-controlled regions to participate in their actions. He asked for directions and used a WhatsApp group to coordinate his preparations, according to the statement. Additionally, he had posted videos in which he expressed his enthusiasm for the terrorist organization and threatened to strike the UK if his plans to travel to Syria were derailed. In order to purchase a blade in December 2021, King also created an account with Knife Warehouse. In March 2022, King purchased tactical gloves and goggles from an army surplus store. During the COVID-19 lockdown, he had been spending a lot of time online, using his phone to watch a ton of extremist films, including his propaganda that included suicide bombers and mass murders. King frequently mentioned his intention to fly to Syria to engage in violent jihad and talked about being a martyr in discussions on Snapchat with a female companion that were later recovered from his phone. The girl was informed by King that he was preparing for jihad and planned to kill people. He expressed his wish to kill and torture an American or British soldier in one chat that was especially detailed. Additionally, he joined an internet chat room where he discussed topics including financing terrorism and alternative routes to Syria. "Kill non-Muslims, wherever you see them," he once vaulted his WhatsApp status to. In Stratford, East London, King photographed police personnel twice between March and May 2022, and on a third occasion, He recorded a side entrance to Stratford Police Station as he passed by.
What you're watching is the initial planning of a potential terror attack. 18-year-old Matthew King walks past some police officers before taking a photo of them and posting it on social media with the caption, "Target acquired." Here he is checking out an army barracks. Prosecutors say he wanted to kill on-duty police officers or military personnel. King had been excluded from schools and converted to Islam, but during COVID lockdowns, he developed an increasingly violent mindset. These are some of the items King purchased for a potential attack. He also bought army fatigues and gloves.
It's tempting to think he didn't pose a lot of danger, given that this was probably a low sophistication terrorist attack using bladed instruments. However, this was a really serious threat to the public and to colleagues and to the army. And really, for me, this was an imminent terrorist attack and we needed to disrupt it.
The police received concern calls about King's behaviour, including from his own mother, who was so worried she reported him to the counter-terrorism programme PREVENT. He was later arrested and pled guilty to preparing acts of terrorism, though the police say he's shown no remorse. Thankfully, with the help of the public and his own family, his deadly ambitions never became a reality.
He also shot a brief movie on a Stratford Army camp in May. "I'm not as extreme any longer." The defence claimed in court that King was immature and that there was a remote possibility of a terrorist act. King was slowly and steadily disengaging from the extremes of radicalism, according to his attorney Hossein Zahir KC, despite such instances of offensive and abusive behaviour. King said to his mother over the phone while he was in jail, "I'm not extreme anymore." However, authorities claimed King had a firm intention and desire to carry out a terrorist attack and had talked about attacking anyone without regard for who they were or where they were from. They also claimed King had expressed a sinister interest in police officers and army members. Officers were astounded, according to Mr. Murphy, at how rapidly he transitioned from having radical ideas to practically being prepared to carry out a terrorist assault. Despite admitting to planning terrorist attacks, Mr. Murphy said King was someone who doesn't demonstrate any kind of remorse or regret for their behavior or their activity. He referred to it as particularly concerning because more and more young men and boys are being scrutinized as potential counter-terrorism threats.
I am of the view that there must in this case be a discretionary life sentence, and that is the sentence I impose upon you. There will be a sentence of custody for life. The risks around you, albeit as a young man, are clear and concerning. The way in which you say some things to professionals and yet say the contrary to others means that there is, in my judgment, no clear picture of when those risks may abate. Having considered what would otherwise be the appropriate categorisation of this case and the impact of the aggravating and mitigating features, including age and maturity, the appropriate sentence and minimum term, as I indicate, would be one of 9 years custody, allowing for your plea a minimum term of 6 years. As there is now no early release for terrorist offenders, that minimum term is the same as what was used to be called the determinate term. The days on remand, which I'm told number 367 days, will count towards that sentence, and so the sentence of this court is one of custody for life with a minimum of 6 years, less 367 days.
Sincere sympathies, condolences and best wishes to all victims in this case. We pray you are granted the patience you so well deserve. Thank you very much for watching. For regular and daily uploads, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.